We all must have heard and seen things about the Titanic, but how did this great ship hit an iceberg and sink? Apart from the physical causes that have been stated for the sinking of this ship, a metaphysical cause has also been stated for it. According to the writings in the Egyptian pyramids, people who have any opinion about the mummified bodies of the pharaoh's family will suffer eternal punishment. Some Egyptologists believe that Thutmose III, one of the pharaohs of Egypt, ordered the scribes to hack the text of his curse in the stone inscriptions in order to create fear among the people of that era. In 1911 AD, a French businessman named René Merva, who was famous in England for trading in all objects and invested in the shipbuilding industry, went to Egypt with Captain Smith and an engineer. According to an accident there, he witnessed the purchase and sale of an old coffin belonging to Temple of Ammon will participate in the lottery, and they buy this coffin. This coffin had great artistic value and had exquisite decorations. Inside it was the mummified body of the wife of the 16th pharaoh of Egypt, and the walls of the coffin were made of gold. Marwa was happy to buy it, and considered it to be her happiness, but contrary to her opinion, ever since the coffin entered her life, she has had countless misfortunes and dark days. A few days after he bought it, his right hand was injured and amputated due to the barrel of his gun being blocked. His brain was burned in a fire. He suffered from a head disease, and within a month he was completely miserable and bankrupt. After thinking a lot, Marwa noticed the coffin that she had bought and thought to herself that these troubles started right after buying this coffin and went to it as soon as she got close. She was nailed in place of fear. It was unbelievable, but it was true. When he had bought it, he had looked at the hacked picture on the board for hours. The picture had a smile and closed eyes, but this time it was different. The picture's eyes were open and there was no sign of smile. It wasn't him, and it was as if he was looking at me with hatred. So Marwa decided to sell that coffin, but he didn't want to rush and sell it at a low price. There was a rich widow in the neighborhood of his house who came to their house every day when he returned from Egypt and spent hours talking about Egypt and civilization. The old man was talking to him the same way that the neighbor lady said to the priest who attended her bedside in the last hours of her death. When I went to Marwa's house, I saw that she had dried up in her place and was staring at the eyes of the picture on the coffin. But when I got closer, I noticed a strong tremor on her body. I realized that she was having doubts. I rubbed her back and forced her to drink a cup of coffee. After 20 minutes, Marwa returned to her normal state and said that the soul of the queen walks in his room. I was aware of his misdeeds a month ago, and I knew his words from nervous tension. And in order to calm him down, I told him that you are wrong about the mummy, and to put his mind at ease, I am ready to buy it from him at good price. I was expecting a strong reaction from him because we had talked about selling it 2 weeks ago, and he had shown a very strong reaction. Upon hearing these words, he found a new life without hearing the offered amount. He said, "Okay, I will sell it to you." I would, but I wish I had never bought it. By selling the coffin, Marwa transferred all her misfortunes to Miss Biscoe. On the same day, her mother fell down the stairs and severed her spinal cord. The man who wanted to marry her withdrew without any reason and left her alone. Her chickens and roosters died en masse. His precious dog got mad in a moment and attacked the other side and finally killed him with a shot. Miss Biscoe herself also contracted the disease of jasm and passed away with great suffering. The priest who was with Miss Biscoe in last moments found out about this terrible secret and informed the Pope about this matter. According to the order of the Church, the coffin should be returned to the pyramids of Egypt as soon as possible, and the mission of transferring it was entrusted to the priest. Marwa died 2 days after Miss Biscoe's death, and further investigation revealed that the previous seller had also died. But Alil's mother, Miss Biscoe, who was his only heir, announced that she will donate the body of the mummy and its coffin to the Museum of Anthropology in London. The officials of this museum happily accepted and transferred it to the museum. The unforeseeable disasters of that coffin did not end, and it provided problems for the staff of that museum. For example, an Italian painter named Ennio Cantini tried to make a painting of the Egyptian queen several times during 6 months, and he failed every time for unknown reasons. The last time he finished a picture, he got on a carriage to take it to his painting gallery. A moving and white object appeared from the sky above Droshka's head. This object caused the horses to run, and the painting was completely destroyed. The London Museum fire in 1911 is one of the events whose cause has not yet been determined, and some people believe that it was caused by the existence of a coffin in this museum, because when the disaster happened, they saw a night sky while flying above this museum. There was no more time for the museum officials, and they had to get rid of this coffin with an urgent message and raise the matter with the New York Museum of Egyptology. In response to their message, they announced that they would send the mummified queen to America on the Titanic. The Americans were satisfied that the sarcophagus would be kept in the museum and were sure that the queen would be happy to be next to other examples of ancient Egypt and would stop playing around. This was the end of the story, and the above coffin was entrusted to Captain Smith and engineer Andrews to be taken to America by Titanic. These two were the only ones who knew how to buy and transport it that day. The Titanic cruise sank, and the Egyptian queen was able to take revenge on both of her old enemies.